Dan and Amy, and before the news, we were talking about back to school or the lack thereof, and the teachers' unions' posture on it in LA and San Diego and Chicago and New York, which is it's not safe to send teachers back. The grand bargain that William Galston proposed in the Wall Street Journal, again, he's a left, center left, but I would say left. Unlike members of our voluntary military, teachers are being asked to run risks they didn't sign up for. They should be given hazard pay. They should be given hazard pay for the duration of the pandemic, along with first dollar health insurance coverage for themselves and their family. But if teachers are to remain true to their long-held position that teaching is a vocation, they have responsibilities to others that go beyond self-interest.
Yeah, they're essential workers in my mind. They always have been. And what other essential workers have complained this hard and have
Everybody's
put
an
their
essential
foot down,
worker.
put their foot down and said they're not going to work?
Text from 847. Early retire the scared or at-risk teachers. Everyone else come on back. No hazard pay. Do your job. Like the jewel cashiers who show more backbone than these whiny teachers. Ooh.
Oh, I like that. And real quickly, I mean, I just kept thinking in my mind, if President Trump proclaimed that children should not go back to school in the fall, wouldn't all these Democratic-led towns and states say, oh, no, he's wrong. Now we have to go back to school. It's because Trump said that they have to go back to school in order to get certain federal funding that they're pushing back. That's what I think.
That's
Could be part of it.
That may be part of it. There's
Like, you're not going to tell me what to do, Mr. President.
There's definitely a political aspect of this, but I mean, he's not. There's no ability to impose his will, and he's not imposing his will. These are decisions being made at the state and local level, and it'll be state and local officials that should be held to account for them. I don't know if they will be here, but that's where the decisions are being made. I think that's pretty clear as different school districts are doing different things. I mean, just again, the scale of this. It's $700 billion yearly spent on K through 12 education in this country. 51 million students, more than 6 million teachers and support staff, obviously tens of millions of parents. It's a big deal, big decision. I think it's being treated with the sobriety that such a big decision requires, the creativity, the nimbleness that such a big decision that will have such profound impacts, demands. I don't. John in Geneva, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm a waste hauler. I'm a union waste hauler, and we are considered essential workers. No one, they made it a privilege that we were able to go to work, and we did. We're happy to do it. But you know what? We're around a lot of coronavirus. People are throwing out the Kleenexes and God knows what else. We went to work, and we're happy to do it. You know what? I think the teachers need to do the same thing, and it's just ridiculous. God gave us something that's called numbers, and we can make rational decisions with, and it's not political. Look at the numbers. Kids are not really that vulnerable to it. Get to work.
Thanks for the call, John. Lee in the southwest suburbs.
Hi, Dan, Amy. I love you guys. Listen every morning. I think we need to slow down and rethink this. Do we really want our kids back in public education?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, can you imagine what are they going back to learn? Rewritten history?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I propose. I homeschooled my kids, and I would be willing, if I had kids in my neighborhood, to those moms who can't or don't want to homeschool their kids, just start a little neighborhood co-op, teach these kids at home, get them outdoors, get them interacting with each other, and just creating just little neighborhood co-op schools if we wanted to. These out-of-work teachers who really care about kids, they could do that in their neighborhoods. If you can't homeschool your kids, find a teacher or find a homeschool experienced mother or person at home and let's just start doing this. We're Americans. We can adjust to these things. No need to send our kids back to the public school system, especially in Chicago, where they've been a failure for years.
I love the idea, Lee, and the attitude. I suppose in a country where you still knew your neighbors, it would be easier to do. That's less and less the case. But I mean, sure, I think you're going to see a dramatic increase in homeschooling. It's been increasing prior to the pandemic because of the poor quality of K through 12 education in so many places, the politicization of the curriculum in so many places. So it will only increase at a faster pace. But obviously, for most of those 51 million students and families are not going to make that decision.
Because a lot of us have to work, and a lot of us, I don't have the patience to homeschool.
Well,
I don't.
but that's the co-op. You
Right.
know, find the
Right.
Lee in your neighborhood if there is such a person. That's one idea. I mean, the other thing though too that should be part of this conversation. You don't want to go back. You're not going to reopen. That's fine. Well, I'm not paying full freight through the
Property tax.
liquidation of my home for school buildings that are vacant and teachers that are not teaching, not shouldering the same work burden
Yeah.
that they would if they were on site in the classroom. I'm sorry. Uh, I would be turning the screws on the administration and the school board and the union to retrench the costs imposed by the school systems in my neighborhood.
Well, one thing that I heard in Lansing, they might do this, have the teachers come in every day, but no students. So they'll just be in the classroom teaching, virtually.
Well,
Without
what's
kids.
the difference?
It's a-
What's the point of that? You could do it at your home.
Stupid.
What's the
I know.
difference of having in a classroom? That's idiotic. So what? Nope. Sorry. I want a 50% reduction. You're going to give 50% of the education that I'm forced to pay for? I want a 50% reduction in my property taxes. That's what the clamoring that should be going on. Maybe that would get them off the dime. Because I know it's not about money, though. Mike in Plainfield.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. Look, I am aligned, and I want to push this a little bit further. Well, I want all my tax dollars back. And you teachers, I'm going to help you out. You find a solution, and you sell your solution in the marketplace. And if I want my kids to go to your school, I'll pay you my money. If not, it's e-learning. I should be able to go nationwide and pick what school my kids attend and pay the money to the best value I get for my dollar. I don't need you anymore. Thank you for pointing that out.
All right, Mike, thanks for the call. Well, this dovetails nicely into a conversation with our next guest, a familiar one. She is Sheila Weinberg. She's the founder and CEO of Truth in Accounting, and they're out with a new report on City of Chicago finances and finances of other big cities around the country. Sheila Weinberg, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Dan.
So, City of Chicago, I remember just a couple of months ago, Lori Lightfoot said city finances are fine, not a problem. They still fine?
No, and the governor's made the same claim. What we found in the city of Chicago is that they have $36 billion of debt. That amounts to just a mere $39,400 per taxpayer.
And $36 billion in debt in a city that has, a $10 billion annual budget?
Yeah, so they're in deep trouble. Their pension plans are running out quickly. The police and fire funds, they have only 18 cents for every dollar of benefits that they've promised, and they continue to, quote, balance the budget while massively underfunding these pension plans.
And so 18 cents per every dollar of retirement commitments. You don't have to be a expert in pensions. You don't have to be a finance expert to understand that that means those pension funds are not viable and they will not survive.
No, and eventually, they'll and they're already coming more and more to the taxpayers' property taxes, as you were talking to try to catch up on these funds, but they continually to woefully underfund them.
And so, I mean, when I looked at the Department of Insurance filings by the Police Pension Fund a couple of years ago, I mean, basically, if you project it out, and this was before this was at the height of the market, the bull market. Now we're sort of back to that for the time being, but they were looking at maybe early 2022 they would run out of they would no longer be able to pay out current beneficiaries, at least not fully. And I mean, I can't imagine that with the hammering that city and state finances have taken in the pandemic, that is any better. I would think that Doomsday is upon us, maybe in the next calendar year.
Yeah, you're talking less, people earning less, people not being able to pay their property taxes, less on their investments. Unfortunately, I hate to say I told you so. We've been warning the city and the state about this for years, and, they just have refused to pay attention and refused to, manage these things properly.
And as you said, we're the financial condition of the city, which Lori Lightfoot said is fine, has worsened by $2 billion a year over year, and it was bad last year. It's just worsened by $2 billion.
Yeah, and the $39,400. Keep in mind is only. I hate to continue to bring you bad news, but that's only for the city of Chicago. If you add the school district in, you have to add another $18,400 per taxpayer. That they're in the hole.
And then what if you added the county in and then the state?
You're more than $50,000 in the hole for those people.
And we have absolutely no revenue coming in. I mean, Lollapalooza alone, all of the shows at McCormick Place. So the hotels are losing money, the restaurants are losing money. Everywhere that there's any type of tourist activity, we're losing money. So what do you think it's going to be next year?
We'll continue to lose money. I apologize. I said the state number is 50,000. If you add everybody up together, each taxpayer in the city of Chicago is on the hook for $122,000. And as you say, it just gets worse as these revenues, are not coming in. There is, possibly going, to the Federal Reserve and getting a short-term loan there, but that's just kicking the can down the road even further.
You guys at Truth in Accounting look at big cities and as well as the states across the country, and so Chicago's in a bad condition, Illinois is in a bad condition, but a lot of times we hear, everybody, Sheila, everybody's been hit hard by the pandemic, everybody's suffering. And so compare, contrast Chicago, Illinois to the rest of the nation.
We do. Before the pandemic, we did have some sunshine states, and we still, have those where, some of them actually did something like plan ahead, have rainy day funds, but, the governor was going to put $100 million into the rainy day fund. That was his big plan, to have us plan for the future. And obviously that didn't even last for one day during this pandemic. Are they just assuming, is the state of Illinois and the city just assuming the feds are going to bail them out? Will the other state and other cities and states who aren't doing as badly as them, are they going to be willing to bail out the city of Chicago? But that seems to be what the governor and the mayor are planning.
Yeah, that is definitely the plan of these catastrophically managed blue states as Biden wins in November, and we get the bailout that we need from hopefully a Democrat-dominated Congress. That's the plan, because frankly, what else do they have?
They don't have another plan.
Yeah, I mean, what other than the graduated state income tax on the ballot here? Maybe Lightfoot goes for a city income tax on top of it. But in the last 2 calendar years that we have data, 2017, 2018, Illinois lost $12 billion in adjusted gross income. So it's not just people staying here earning less in value, the depreciation of value in things like your homes and property taxes, receipts coming in lower. It's also the people that do have resources that have left and taken their resources and their future with them.
Yeah, I was reading that it takes 3 weeks to move out of Illinois. That's how long that's the backlog in the U-Haul trailers. If you want to get out of here, you better get your U-Haul reserved, because it's going to take you at least 3 weeks to get that set up.
God, that says everything.
It really does. She is Sheila Weinberg, founder and CEO of Truth in Accounting, truthinaccounting.org. Sheila, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi,